Welcome to my kitchen. When you think of soup or stew, don't you think of large bowls of steaming comfort food? I know I do. I love to serve soups to my family and friends often because you see, soups say slow down. Enjoy the time you're together, you're home. They're also so very instrumental in aiding digestion, as well as giving our body vital nutrients that we need to heal, as well as to maintain health. Well, the soup we're going to make today is my hearty vegetable and barley stew, which is packed with nutrients, sure to make your family feel great. You see, adding barley is a great way to increase soluble dietary fiber to your diet, as well as aiding digestion. Did you know that barley even slows the digestion of carbohydrates? And that can help control blood sugar in some people. Well, let's get started. We're going to start by sautéing onion and a couple cloves of garlic. So I'll go ahead and get my pan get it hot here so we can get that olive oil. A friend of mine that's a chef taught me a long time ago that if you heat your pan first and then add your oil, things don't stick, and he was right. That's really great. Well, I'm going to let that heat up a little bit and start with my vegetables. So then we'll get the vegetables going and we'll finish going. On the carrots, now I've got to tell you, I don't peel my vegetables. I like to keep those nutrients. So I scrub them really good, and then I just chop them in really large chunks because this is a stew as opposed to a soup. So I'll just get these carrots going while my pan's getting hot. Then we'll add our oil and get the rest of our onions and all that going. It's probably about right. I seem to feel that heat going. Let's check that again. That's right. Seems like it's hot enough. We'll turn that up. You're going to use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, but it really doesn't matter. You just kind of do it to how you like it. You kind of get that around a little bit, turn it down if you need to, and it's okay if it sizzles up. That just tells you that it's good and going. And you know, I love that smell of the steaming and the sautéing onions. When the onions turn a little brown around the edge, that's called caramelizing the onions. It's actually the natural sugars in the onion that's doing that. Now we'll get our garlic in there, stir it around to coat nicely, then we'll go back and finish chopping and prepping our vegetables. You see, that's already started caramelizing a little bit. We'll get them good and coated just like that. Oh, that looks good. So I'll turn that down just a little bit. You're going to want to work on like a medium to a medium-high heat, but be sure you adjust it whether you have gas or electric because it really does make a difference. Oh, good. While that's sautéing, I like to sauté my onions a good 2 to 3 minutes or until they're transparent. Now we'll go back and finish prepping our vegetables. Again, I just did nice big chunks because this is a stew. That looks good. And my rule of thumb is I like to put the vegetables in first that take the longest to cook. So we'll just add these carrots. Those look good and coated. We'll coat all of those first, and then we'll go and add our squash last because we don't want that squash to get mushy. Here we go. Nice big chunks of carrots. Now we'll stir that around and get them coated. Each time you add a vegetable, let's be sure to stir it so that it coats with the oil really well. Good. That looks good. Now we'll do our broccoli because, again, that's going to take a little bit of time. And we'll coat that up good. Such good phytonutrients. This is going to make a great dinner tonight. That looks good. Now we'll get our mushrooms and our parsnips. There. Now while those are sautéing down, we'll go back and finish preparing the squash. The squash I like to just quarter lengthwise and make in nice big chunks. Let's put that off to the side. You know, squash is something that is really neat to grow in your garden. It's easy to grow, and it's also readily available at farmers markets year-round, and it's one of the vegetables that I find that I can find organically. Whenever you do pick your vegetables, try to get organic when you can. I know it's hard in some markets, but you can certainly try. That looks good. Squash adds a nice dimension to a soup. It's not something that you really see in that many recipes, but it adds such a good dimension as well as a lot of phytonutrients. So that's looking good right there, and I think our stew is just going to be lovely. Now we'll get this little zucchini. I don't think we need all of that one, so we'll just cut it like that. Again, just half it, quarter it, and go in some big chunks. You just can chop them any old way. Just get large chunks like that. Oh, great. We'll take this over here and scoop these in. Doesn't that look good? Now, do you remember a couple weeks ago, we cooked a golden vegetable stock? If you didn't get that recipe, you can log on to healthycookingwithcindy.com and you can get a copy of that recipe and be sure you print it off. It's a really good one, so you're going to want to put that in your recipe book. If you don't have a stock, you can use water, or you can add a bouillon cube if you need to. Now that's coated really nicely. I like that. There we go. Hear how it's quieted down? Now we're going to add our stock. And oh, that's going to be good. Then we'll do our herbs and add our barley. There we go. Looking good. We'll stir that up, get that kind of going. Now we'll add our barley. We've got 2 cups of pearled barley. Now here's a tip. This is really neat. When you start your process, you come in the kitchen and you're going to start this dish, go ahead and get your pearled barley made in a rice steamer. That is such a good trick, and then it's done at the right time. It's just wonderful. So we'll just get this barley in here. It just turned out great. And then we'll add our seasonings, and oh, what a treat we are in for. Going to just kind of stir that barley in, and then we'll add our herbs. I always like to cook with fresh herbs if possible. They make such a difference in flavor. You're going to add a bay leaf to this, and as you know, at the end of the cooking cycle, you'll take the bay leaf out. But we've got here for you, we've got a bay leaf. We have some Italian parsley, which is wonderful. We've got rosemary, marjoram, and thyme. Oh, those are so beautiful, and they're so aromatic as well. We'll just stir that up. Now, this is the point in the cooking cycle that you can add some other protein options if you choose. You could add some cooked chicken, some cubed beef, some tofu if you're vegetarian, or the textured vegetable protein. You can also add those at the table, which I do as well. Okay, now we need to add our tamari sauce. Now listen, tamari, this is really neat. Tamari soy sauce is very different from the soy sauces that you buy in the grocery store. It doesn't have the sugar and MSG in it, as well as it doesn't have artificial colors, and it's a lot softer in flavor, which is really great. And I think that it's really good to always pick the low sodium option if you can. I've got a little coarse sea salt. Again, sea salt's different from the salt you get in the grocery store for the same reasons. It's not refined and it's much healthier. And then I like to use a little freshly ground pepper. Now we're going to let that simmer for about 30-35 minutes until all the flavors are melded together. And then we will have a delicious, delicious wintertime stew. All right, we're going to cover that. I like to simmer mine covered and turn it down just a little bit because it seems to like let the flavors just come together and they're just delicious. All right, now I have a treat for you. I have a finished dish over here that I'd like to show you so that we can serve this up. Look how beautiful that is when it's done. It is just wonderful. We'll stir that up. All the flavors are melded together. Look how it's just soft and so good. So to serve this, we'll take a nice large bowl because this is something you're going to want for dinner. And we'll just ladle up some of our hearty vegetable barley stew. Oh, steaming bowl of comfort food. Oh yeah. And we'll take just a little piece of parsley and put on top. Isn't that just beautiful? Now, you can serve this warm. You don't want to serve it too hot, but serve it warm with whole grain bread, seasoned flatbread if you're on a yeast-free diet. And I wanted to show you this bread in the middle is spelt. And that again has no yeast in it, but yet you get a whole grain bread. And you can have butter, you can have different toppings, and oh, how delicious and beautiful. You know, it is just wonderful. When you start healthy cooking, it's a good idea to add soups to your diet 2 to 3 times a week. Not only are you boosting your immune system, but you're acquiring minerals and phytonutrients that your body desperately needs, both to heal and to stay healthy. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoy making these healthy recipes. And remember, for a complete recipe of today's dish, you can go to healthycookingwithcindy.com, print off that recipe, and enjoy it. Stay tuned, because we're going to be right back for more of your health.